Welcome to our weekly New Gambia platform. So today is July 31st, 2022. Today we're going to be discussing briefly about the OIC project and what are the challenges. From there, we're going to go to farming. How are the farmers dealing with the rainy season and some of the catastrophe that we just observed recently. So we have our panelists here. Alas from Germany, welcome Alas. And we have Sam from Indiana, United States. Welcome Sam, and I'm here in New York. So we are here to discuss this topic. Alas, you can just jump in about the OIC and give us a brief, understanding about that. Then Sam can come in, and if Mfamara and Jaga comes in, they can just take it from there.
Okay, Mr. Sam, thank you very much. And welcome, Sam. Yeah, about the OIC. In fact, I myself, I don't know even more. Just the questions are too much, and I'm having a lot of questions here which I cannot answer myself. People are thinking about the date and whether it's going to be and how is it going to be, and these are things I think Gambians start to get nervous somehow, maybe because there are a lot of projects that are not even being started, and calculating everything, maybe it can be very, very, very stressing at the end, how people are seeing it, because some people used to say, why is the Gambia government looking for loan when the OIC used to give the host always a lot of money, which I cannot answer myself. Maybe they have to contact Mr. Barrow about that. And I have here also another question saying, I even wrote it here, would it be possible, once I have got it, are all projects finished or going to be finished? I have also some questions. And then, do we have enough money? I have it here also. And can we use can we use the hotels instead of spending money? There are can we use the hotels standing? There are certain hotels, I think because of the COVID, they are standing, very costly hotels. Maybe the government can save money by trying to just repair instead of building new, or try to negotiate maybe with the owners of these hotels. I heard that some of them are 5-star hotels, and maybe that is going to be cheaper for the government, for the country. And what are the worst cases? So when you see these questions, this is telling you that people are trying to think about the OIC. Maybe we were distracted maybe all the time from other topics, but I think something is going underneath, which is making the people a little bit nervous about the whole thing. I mean, the building is there. Maybe what we need is maybe the streets and the hotels as main projects. When we can have that before time, then I think it will be okay. But the problem we have in the Gambia is always when it comes to buildings, projects, and so people are always very active. Why? Because there is the chance of kickbacks and all this nonsense. But even if that is the case, let them make sure that they are punctual. That's always our problem. And now the whole world, or the Arab world also, watching what we can do. You understand? We failed once because we couldn't afford it. So now the second chance is there. They are watching. How capable are Gambians, in fact? You understand? So it's not going to be about Barrow or any other person, but the whole Gambia, because we have to show here that we are capable. You understand? or we cannot make it. We have only these two things. But let us hope that it's going to be possible. But I think the planning should have been like this, that everything is finished. Then we even have maybe 3 months before, so that you can then make your checkups again, what to optimize, and because you have a little bit of air. But if we want to walk up to the last hour before they come, sometimes there are mistakes you cannot see it, or you see it, and then at that hour, then forget it. You cannot walk when they are here. Either you are ready or you are not ready. And I think that is also something that we can change in our attitude. To say we are going to start this from here and end it at this date. You understand?
Yes,
That is also
yes.
our problem. Yeah. So doing that, you need to think of all these possibilities, uh, projects, starts, who is going to do this, when is he going to start, and when is it going to end? Is this company capable to do this on time or not before they get the project? Things like that. So this is a huge organization you have to do. If you fail somewhere, no go. You realize it at the end. So it's all the planning. Then there you can also know your budget, how much you need, not just doing, spending. You don't have any planning, no focus, meaning that you do your calculation before and know exactly how much to the last cent, you would need, to the last cent and the last project and time, you know. That is a very good attitude when we can adopt that. When we want to be also a country, standard country, to the world, I mean to the global affairs, you know.
Exactly.
We have to show also that we are capable of doing something. It's even a disaster. The first time we failed the OIC. You understand? So they still give us the chance to do it now. So if we don't show that we can do it now, how is it going to be? I think that's why people are getting worried and asking these questions. And I can leave some to come. Let us hope for the best. I hope that they can make it. But there are some worries somewhere. I don't know why.
Okay. All right, Sam. Thank you, Alas, for that. Sam, you can come in about the OIC. What are your thoughts? And do you think Gambia can make it?
Well, first, thanks, Alice. This is a great topic and an important one, of course. An important one for Gambia because of all the things involving OIC and OIC project. So the way I look at this is there is a failure in this. And but before I talk about a failure, what I'd like to say is when you have OIC summit somewhere, normally you have a OIC secretariat. And their job, that institution's job, is to really plan, implement the plans, and execute the program. And as part of the planning, they also look for funding for what is going to happen. What are they going to build as part of the plan? What are they going to build? What needs to be done? By when? And who is going to be responsible for what? These are very important in any planning. And like I always say, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And I always say this, and it's always true. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So we failed to plan in Gambia. We failed to plan properly. That's why the president went out and was disappointed in some projects. He was happy with some of them, and according to his speech, some are on target, and one project may be ahead of the game. Okay, but there is a huge disappointment in other areas. And that should not have happened. And that's part of the planning. When you plan all of the things that I mentioned, you also need to put in place a mitigation and a contingency support operation. A contingency support operation is, okay, here's our plan. What if it doesn't work? What if we find something in the middle of the road that's not going to happen? What is our plan? You need to have a contingency plan, a backup plan. What do you do next? Do we need to get subcontractors? Do we need to find other contractors and put them on standby? If this doesn't work, we want you to jump in and take off with this other area so we can remove that from this other company's plan because they are not on target or they're not going to be able to do it. So all of those are part of the planning. And unfortunately, if this fails, really it's going to be a huge disappointment. It will be a lost opportunity for Gambia because OIC Summit brings a lot of good things to our country. Not only part of the infrastructure, but it also creates a lot of jobs for people. All those contractors in all these projects need employees to do those jobs. There will be a lot of contractors. There will be a lot of subcontractors from within the Gambia that Gambians can do and also hire more people. And not only that, if you think about even building a 5-star hotel, just the hotel part of it alone, there is going to be a lot of employees in there. And not only that, after the job is complete, the 5-star hotel is built, what happens is a lot of employees will be hired there. That will take a lot of our youths and young men and women off the street or from sitting down doing nothing to being engaged in having a job and have a stable income. All right. If you think about it in a hotel, you're going to have the front desk staff. They're going to have guest services. They're going to have reservations. They're going to have sales and catering. They're going to have banquet. They're going to have restaurant. They're going to have, I mean, you name it, there's all there.
Roommates and all.
Housekeeping. That's called housekeeping. They're going to have housekeeping. They're going to have maintenance. They're going to have shuttle drivers. I mean, you think about it, hotel employs a lot of people. I've been a hotel manager before in America here. I've been a hotel manager, so I know all the things that goes in there.
Yeah, you need a lot of employees anyway.
Yeah, this is going to create a lot of jobs for our people. So if this fails, we failed Gambia, and this cannot fail. So, and that's where the president, you know, as part of the planning also, when the OIC Secretariat do their planning, and like I said, as part of the planning, they're looking for funds and make sure that there is accountability, transparency, and reconciliation. Reconciliation is very important. We need to reconcile every budget that went into every project, making sure that nothing went into somebody's pocket. All right. So, and as part of that planning, there is something that they need to do, and that is follow up. And follow up in Gambia is very poor. I mean, you can talk about all good things and nobody follows up, and so nothing happens. So the follow up should have a stage where they follow up and also come up with weekly updates and monthly updates. The president needs to be getting monthly updates. The president should not get up to go tour the place and be disappointed because he should have already known that that project is way behind time. He should have already known that. He should not have just gone there and see that. They should have told him that this is where we are, and in each of the phases, and brief him on, if not weekly, but at least once a month. There should be a monthly briefing for the president to tell him where we are. So when he goes out, he's going to see with his own eyes what they're telling him. So there will not be any surprise. If he's going to be disappointed, he'll be disappointed the day they did the briefing and let him know that project so-and-so is behind time. And that's when the president will say, what do we do to mitigate this? What is your contingency plan? I need this on target. We've got to get it done. So can you find contractors to get it done? Because I'm going out there next week or next month. I want to see this myself. So get subcontractors, get people out there. Let's get this done. You know, that way they stay on target. So the follow-up has been a breakdown for them. That's part of the reason why the president went out and was disappointed. So it's a missed opportunity. And I hope that it all goes well. The other part I'll add to this is, you know, in Gambia, one of our problems is money. Everybody wants to get some money out of everything.
Yeah.
Every loan that they have, every grant that they have, everything that they have, even if it's a grant, something that was given to them for free, they gave them free money. Everyone wants to get something out of that free money. Well, that free money is not for you. It's not for every single individual. It's not for any single individual. It's for the country. This is how we should develop our country. If we allow people to get hold of that money, this is why when I talk about corruption, I always say, take cash out of people's hands. Don't let anybody have access to that cash, because if they don't have access to it, they can't take it. That's it. It needs to go somewhere in the bank account, and everything has to be documented electronically. All funds need to be transferred electronically. Nobody takes cash anywhere, because the moment you allow them to take cash, they're going to tamper with it. They will take something. They will forge the numbers. They will do anything. And this is where we lack. This is where we fail in all projects. And seriously, this is where leadership comes in. A leader should take action. Like I've always said, in America here, I've been responsible for budgets, multi-million-dollar budgets in our stores. And if somebody misses $50, I want to know where that $50 is. I want to hold that person accountable. I want to get that person fired. I want to get that person arrested. I've done all of that. This is how you hold people accountable. And this is how you set an example. So the president, I would say, should set an example. Should set an example. Number one, if I have such a magnitude of a project coming to my country and it fails, well, guess what? Anyone responsible for that? I'm going to start with the minister. Guess what? You're going to lose your job because you don't know your job. If you know your job, you should have checked all of this. I should, as a president, the president should not have gone out and be disappointed in all this without prior briefing in all of this. He should have seen pictures.
Yeah, there's something wrong there. Yeah.
So wherever the failure is, you get rid of those people because they're not going to move you forward. They're not going to move our country forward. They allow us to fail. As a result, they should not, I'm not going to let them allow me to fail again, second time, one time slap in the face, that's enough. You know, I'm not going to let you slap me in the face a second time. So that's what that is.
But,
this is
where the president, on the other hand, Sam, on the other hand, I give you right. On the other hand, Barrow is a Gambian. Barrow is in Gambia. He was grown up in Gambia and he knows Gambia. So being a president, you should also have this thinking. What is going on in the field?
I think you guys are really are just circumnavigating around the really key issue here. I mean, the thing is, who is the commander in chief? Who is in charge? I mean, to tell me that the president to sit down and come out and say, I'm disappointed. Where were you when the disappointment was happening? What, you know, you need to be on top of your game in order to not to be disappointed. That's
why I said weekly and monthly briefing should have been
maybe he was not always briefed.
So when he goes out, he can see the true picture.
Maybe he was not briefed properly.
But that's the leadership lapse.
And he was not informed properly.
That's why those people responsible for that should have been out of job.
Maybe that's why. So maybe he's now informed. That's where he knows, okay, maybe 1 + 1 is 2. Maybe that will be behind time. So maybe that's why his reaction. I don't know, but I have the feeling that he's informed now, maybe, you know. But apart from that, what I used to say, you know, we have to change that attitude to say when not today, tomorrow. We cannot live in this world like that. We always have to get a start and say it's going to end in 2 weeks or in 5 months. You know, that's how the world goes. So we cannot be living when it's not today, next week. You cannot make a plan like that, especially we're dealing with these international associations or countries.
Yeah, but
we have to hold standard. We have to get standard somewhere. If not, we'll blame ourselves after.
Yeah, just to just to conclude this topic, I know we have a big major topic to discuss. Now, I mean, do you think Gambia can host this? Is it that we are just, you know, I know the representative of OIC came in and tried to assess the situation, and they were saying that there's a possibility, but something that is going to happen very soon? Do you think we have time? Because some of our roads or some of the facilities are still not been been completed. Do you think we can host?
Yeah, you are
Do you
right.
think
You
we
are
have
right.
it has to be
I mean,
postponed?
the chance is there. I mean, if we try to see now what to make better or what to correct before time, as Sam said, you always have to get a plan B somehow to say what if, no? And maybe they are having something in their hands that they can make it possible. Like somebody here was trying to tell me, before they start to build a hotel, they can use. We are having a lot of hotels standing there, very nice hotels. Sometimes so even five stars. Before building, they can see the owner, and then they try to do any replace on or I don't know, to repair anything. Maybe that's going to be cheaper than building again. And after, when they left, the building will also stay like that, or they change it to hotel. I don't know. So it's a waste of money again. So where we don't have the money, then we can take. I think that is also very reasonable, and that can save one project. So the next projects are the streets, and so which they have to start with I mean, they should have started that long time. Before I heard of turntables and highways and overlays. That's why people are also making their worries, because people don't see anything. That is also showing you, on the other hand, that we Gambians are not capable of doing certain things ourselves. You understand? Maybe that was the plan, but we cannot. Even a street, we have to hold people from outside. So when we are against time or behind time, as some say, I don't think we can just jump to Senegal or Guinea-Bissau and tell the contractor, leave your job and come over. That it will be very simple like that, because all these people, they have their plan, they have their books full, they have their calendar. So that can also be a serious thing when you cannot have a contractor. Even the Chinese people, you cannot just knock the door today and tell them come next week. You understand? And we Gambians ourselves cannot do it.
Right. So you think, I mean, do you guys think seriously that there's money, there was money provided for this whole thing? Gambia could have hosted this, but the delay probably came from ourselves. Maybe lack of leadership, lack of control, and so forth. And maybe that's why it's taking long for us to host this. And if we miss this opportunity, like some of you guys said, it means that Gambia would definitely miss an opportunity that would economically help our country.
I think when we miss it, we are not going to have it again. I think they gave us this second chance, and I think we had enough time to prepare for it. That's why I was even suggesting they should have started in such a way that even before they come, you have 3 months time, to go over again. Maybe
but the folks in charge are saying that they will still make it. Do you believe that?
Yeah, maybe it's possible. Just that people are worrying because they don't see anything. Because if I'm telling you, and you don't see even a brick or a foundation somewhere, and you calculate the time, let's say next week, you don't see some still starting to dig anywhere, then you start to make worries. Whether what Sam is saying is going to be true at the end. Maybe that's where people are having these worries.
All right. So I think
because,
that's it.
Because there are certain projects you cannot just do it in 1 week.
So my take on that is it going to work? I don't know, and I won't predict, but I will be very cautious that there is a chance, there is a possibility that it may not work the way it was intended because of the lack of proper planning. And we can't blame the president for all of this. The president is the head of the state. However, and at the same time, we know that the president is not knowledgeable in all of this. Presidents don't know everything. You expect to get the right people in place, but if you see a failure coming from that right person that you thought could do it, that's when the president take action. That's when he removes them and find another person, but don't allow them to make you fail and make you look bad in front of all these world leaders. So that's the president's job. We don't expect him to know all of this because the experts that should be responsible should know the planning process. They should know the planning part of it, knowing that they need to be able to plan and execute the program correctly and be able to hold them accountable and all of that. So that's, sorry about that. That's where that comes through. So at the end of the day, he just need to hold people accountable. And we don't expect him to know all of this. We don't expect him to know how planning works, but be expecting results and follow-ups in briefings, weekly briefings, then monthly briefings to see if we're on target or not. If we're not on target, what do we do? Because we're not going to wait until the last minute and say, oh, well, we're not on target, we're not going to make it. No, we need to find a solution right now and find subcontractors. And finding contractors is not easy. It's not an easy thing because in the normal process, you need to go through bidding, you know, have contractors bid before they can get this job, and not just pick one and give it to them. They may not be the right people. They may also fall apart. So, but anyway, I have a concern that is not going to work the way it's intended.
It's I mean, you can force it. They can force it. They can force it at the end. No problem. If we see that there is no other chance.
So if we don't make it, who needs to be blamed for that?
Yeah, I mean, some has already talked here.
Yeah, if we don't make it, the blame starts from the top. The leader that should have held the people accountable didn't hold them accountable. That's why he's going to get blamed. That's why I said he should be informed very well to make sure he can take actionable items into action and do something so that it will work. So, so that's how it works.
It works. And then if you just take a constructor, for example, that's also not all, because then that person should also start to order his cement or sand and make planning and to get the workers, and you know, these are all things. It doesn't happen in one day. You know, I think for Gambians, this thing is also a challenge. Because we are not used to such
remember
project.
How many countries are coming?
Especially especially doing such a project and being watched also, whether we're doing it right. You know, Gambians have no experience in that.
Okay, but what I'm saying, Alas and Sam, how many countries are coming? Over 100 countries, right?
I have something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Because so I'm not.
Where are all these people going to be hosted? Do we have the hotels? Do we have you know?
That's
right now, you know, the traveling. I mean, traffic waiting from the airport to even Serekunda or Banjo. I'm telling you, man, the roads are so congested. How you gonna allow this movement of these world leaders within that little space of Combo? I mean, you know,
that's the thing where people,
we don't have interpass, you know, highways. We don't have any way to clear congestions. And then, I mean, this is Gambia. I mean, I don't know, but
that's why, you know.
I only know that some ways sometimes they take 5 years.
Yep. That's why I said this.
It's not 1 week.
I've released a lot of WhatsApp audios, and I talk about something every week and release them and circulate them around. And I've always said that Gambia, we need those overpass, we need good roads, we need interstate, something like that, some kind of a highway
some kind of movement that areas, can go to places.
This is an opportunity to do that with the OIC when we knew that we were going to host.
But nothing has been built, and we are less than 1 year, right? When is it?
So
have any of those things been built?
Well, that's why I said earlier, I doubt that we're going to make it. If we make it at the end, it will be a rush. Some things will be haphazardly done.
If I have a project, what needs 5 years?
I think we can just maybe negotiate to kind of reschedule or post this thing, because I don't think Gambia has the muscles to do this. Because you're talking about even 50 world leaders with their entourage. You know, you're talking about people from Saudi Arabia, people from this multi-million, billion-dollar, you know, backgrounds coming to our country. They need an atmosphere where listen, man, we need to be serious when we want things.
We're definitely not there.
I just think of what you said. I just think of what you said, Mr. Sawane. This congestion between the airport going through Serekunda and Bani.
It took me 2 hours to get.
Well, they're going to close the road as usual. That's what we know in Gambia. They just shut down, just like when the president is traveling, they close all the roads. That's going to happen. That's what
everybody
shut down everything and let these people pass flawlessly. And
but
that
I don't
is
think
a very high inconvenience to the public.
Yeah, I don't think they'll leave the way like that. Maybe they are going to repair it to make it better. Maybe then it will be cheaper. But to start it again, because some roads you need almost 5 years, and we're talking about time less than 1 year. That is a no-go. And then apart from that, if you want to make it bigger, you have to take certain compounds, and all those bureaucracy.
Listen, I mean, I want my country to have this so we can economically become viable. But let's be realistic. We cannot. These people. I mean, Gambia is. I mean, we don't have any much facilities to sustain world leaders like that, to that capacity, that number of leaders coming to that country.
Yeah, I think it used to have been better when it's only one leader come to Gambia, one of them.
Yeah, but you took hundreds.
One leader on the OIC summit, huh?
Yeah,
we can close the road for 1 hour and let the leader pass and open the roads back up again.
Yeah, it's a great thing. I think we need more planning. We need more time.
Yeah, the planning and the attitude. Because if you plan and the workers don't have that attitude also to be present every day and know that they have to work.
You know what? They were busy on
it's
politics.
Also going to be a problem.
They didn't have time. They were busy on politics. They didn't have time to even factor these things. And then
they have to get time. I cannot invite you to come to my house and I am not prepared.
Yeah.
If you go out, you will blame me. So
yeah, I think that is it for this topic at this point.
I think we can wrap it up here and go to the next. But at the end of the day, my saying is. At the end of the day, what I say is if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And that is exactly what we are going to see.
Something is cooking. Let us hope for the best.
Unfortunately, that has been the way of our lives. Unfortunately. So that being said, we're going to move to the next topic, which is the farming and rainy season and the farmers and some of the natural disasters that we just see because of the rain. So we're gonna talk about how, what are the challenges for the farmers, and if we can speak in local languages, perhaps that could also help this time around. Mbadi won be natale purka, samala ko discuss aning samala lu monomuda la challenges nolti and monasati no like isila sama isila fino for ye more ye pare purke wafi. So mbo kuolel jibe najang. We have the panelists here. I think Sam, you can start with that. So we just start then Alas can come and
that's a new topic kumata back. If you think about it na farmer solo sawosang in jiko la katara sitting ko alabe sama dilela. Sama meya lonko to lafta ka fengol menfi isi baluno ye sama kendo soto ye makoro soto from the government ka boma sakundabulu meya lonka si mako ye la senol kena nyaming mensi mako pour la sen fengol fana kanat nya menbe ko fertilizer nyole also to anyama fana pour ka wolo doku and I remember ngang haklo to ngang mira back e jawra jamano Jawara Jamano, in those days, Ntefama Katio Mensene, Ntolo Mafolo Tundo Bela, Moti Jamen Katio Senekatam the farmer. Uncle Jamalabo, Akati Jamalabo, Atayafan Samba Makawal to Wallakona because of our Kamendoku. So, Wato Kona many Kasatunu time work on them. And in Ntola Mafonga Farol Musulkata Farado Comenfanana, Kambalu Walla from sang to sang, for Sama to Sama. Mbokamane borosang. So niajibe saying will dolka da balafa poti will betata. And not only in Siobo and to blame no la more masakunda because modol fanambije fonyo senola. mo be kombita sila kombole mo be kombita serakundale ni dan serakunda kunkute je te mata kunkudol ko do kula wol be mo problem exactly so as a result seno fanang katalawo nyamale but in reality in seno be kala kay mom man sakunda nyanta ka seno la support kila seno subsidize ka support dila ka engrais dila wala fertilizer di pour be la seno sur la nyaming ning ala samana ta nyama samakara sila seno fongol doku ya harvest ya taya wafi but wo wafi ro fana manya na kake koleat man sakunda manya na sona ina tia seno la la tio sene ya samba sekol to ko di mansure ko kala tio notale god knows mutumala be seno sur la kodo sur la nyine muto la jikode wala man sakunda la karifa jo baton wala kardo ku tebul me ana ko si jo menna so therefore ka mendo ko ni o samba lu mena kata wapi that same day wolun kilongole mnyanta ka kodo nyi sori na sai because wokodo wala mula dunia balwote fo sangu muma bodo prina dimbayal e ka jikola wala kanko ninga nyinke nanye bonkare abetinyare lafta kada da ninga kodo shota wala lafta ka nyinne nyinke lafta nyine ke nan dimbale ndengol fanante njay sura karambo bukola ni school fees or sifal majono nyin kodo shota be o jola wala kono you understand na family kono isafa ko modo bi je memman kende ya bari a jara lo be sura ko dolla mbe sura ko dolla ka fona sama ngata a jara ni mo ko do diladu itabe kala nyaadi so it's really bad very bad amo situation it me anko amanya nakake aro mansa kunda nyanta ka wol keta and oyati na fango sometimes a lack of planning coming from always everything needs planning, proper planning planning is just one word but kujamala ba kono menyan takake nema wala ke anyama don't call it anyama so a perfect example is ni longol kono fango ye revised budget during the National Assembly pre-approved or revised budget wo munena de wala mu nga budget wo men approved nung before alenga tanga 5 NGP nga dolo bondi janga do bondi agriculture nga do bondi education nga do bondi health department atra yemen fond di wolo fonmansi sai kana fem bondi auto because il after mola la jola fala your promise wala ko lafta ka mola jola fa before during elections election campaign you will promise wala kata because there was no planning coming kafanyame if you fail to plan you plan to fail. Okay. Fuoku. Niman si ya jibe. Anyante tala nyami ye ya plan kende ko membe bo kono. Ye akelo surut ye si ya jibe membe nyante kelo kono ya be kafunyoma ya be lande kaja ko nyina mun nasilo tembe.
But say ya iba fokan Amandika Kola, but it's longer than
challenging me here.
Sam, I think you have to say Niman plan sort of.
Yeah, exactly. Niman plan sort of. What I'm going to Niman plan. Niman plan sort of. Niman silon in Saturn on the betamala nyaming. What am the plan? Iman silon in Saturn on the betamala nyaming, Kunyimekala nyaming. Ni tata woto alabandula kateke failure. Alabandula kake nimisolet. Wo nimiso na kakare de fond like because a man wo plano ema wo siloni wo Saturn on the from akumasa wato, right? So that's where that is. So what go nyaman. So saying fele ila budgetol be kuntula pro kakodo boni agriculture me ala ko na fama solo senalal be jikiri wala kajeko ye fertilizer sutra nyama ila tione mano ne suf fengol fotubanyo le mamfo nyole mbamfo anything ka fe ofendo ko findo le mabe pro kajeko ya do ko nyama because ala be nemo jinde kan sainten Gambia ngamo sama bakara je fudulal slo be flood jama flooding be dula jama ka manki slo be but lale flooding sura me anoko nga video jele mol ka dun joko no me anoko kata fo kumala wala tambite kumala fo taw so as a result ka budget onyin ta ka revise ka kodo bandi senala la kodo kono kata mol la joka fola o manya nakake o kamone nati akamta selanalu be jiko mento bawo to la jiko wati ko mafa sain nyina na fama be jawyala bawo ni tela kodo sur la be la tiyo sanna menna akamta ye tiyodoku abetarебole sa mota sanna atasanna wala ya fintindi ya transport ya joro ke ka samba do Senegal kata wafije wo fana mambeta na banko. So at the end of the day Senegal la bonora.
Okay, I'll come back. I give you some challenges so that Africa After if you fail to plan and plan to fail,
yeah, that just sounds well.
But you getting better. You getting better.
I'm trying.
I even have to help with my little mandinka. So
yeah. So okay, Alas. So what it is NGP? So neke affaire living bay.
Yeah, yeah.
Munga was is a halat.
Anyway, man, lima dewa all the time. Like my Gambia and farming. Pare pharmacy, my bakery. Most of them, I would say paradise. Those days, they were doing very good. Time away, every day actually was very good. Dañ daan am xaalis bu bari comme ni ko Sam waxee rek ñu bari dañ discourage ci yëfi farming ñu ñëw ci urban areas yi to work. So da gis ne farming bi buñ ci daan am xaalis I mean ñu def ni decide daal to come to the urban area. So da gis ne foofu tam pour ñu bari dafa gën a naxari sax because liñ doon foog buñ ñëwee ci boori Serekunda Banjul dina yomba affaire gi gën a nekk wuy naxari daal te ñu bari jànguñ nekk business te boor yooyu yëpp foo jaar def business ndax nga mën a lii so li Sam doon wax mooy moom mbokkaam yëpp ñoom béy lañ doon def all the time so duñ daan xiif da nga gis ne dañ daan am at duñ jënd maalo just ci lu gaay góob ci seen tool yi rek so man li ma wax rek mooy li ma ko jikkoon a xamee mooy béykat yi dañ daan béy ñu jël xaalis ci corporation bi there was corporation I don't know ndax mu ko bente su ko defee ñu leen daan jox xaalis ñoom ñu gaaw def gerte and then suñ paree ci gerte gi ñu ñëw jaay ko coopérative su ko defee ñoom itam ñu jël xaalis biñ leen leboon su ko defee ñoom ñu desee seen profit so ñu jël gerte bi yëpp export ko o yóbbu ko saro ñu liggéey ci diwlini gerte to export def ci liggéey ci saabu so this was very good time Jawara yooyu I don't know ndax Jammeh moo close saro I don't know so da gis ne saro boobu sax was ñu bari waa Banjul yu bari kilifa yu bari Banjul yu bari fa lañ daan liggéey because mu ngi nekkoon the biggest industry wow so da gis ne fi mu nekk foofu tam it's a dead end so nga am Banjul breweries foofu tam it's also a dead end so man li ma advice rek mooy we can go back to this style again government should step in promote the farmers in a lot of countries they are doing group farming nga xam ne investors ay ñëw sax jël a lot of béykat together rek invest su ko defee ñu béy kilometers su ko defee ñu jël loolu employ some people who are going to ñuy packet loolu ak ñi ko yóbbu airport ak ñi ko defee ñu jaay ko xaalis bi moo jaay moom laa ñëw indiwaat fay ko nit ñi ak nit ñi doon béy so dafa mel ni nekku nekk ay béy pour boppam so dafa nekk groupe farm so loolu tam government bi mën na ko def before sax nit jógee ci biti di ko def understand
waaw
so dangay gis ne government bi su amee loolu si la gën a am xaalis because loolu ñëpp ay satisfy after kii béy dafa am xaalis government bi dafa am xaalis understand so duñ mën a wax ne ñun amuñ anything pour export pour yónnee pour am xaalis waaye government bi should do that dafa war a encourage all this dafa defee nit ñi sax dañoo bàyyi Banjul Serekunda sax delluwaat pour liggéeyaat ci tool bi because xam naa ne ñu ngi ko miss ñu bari dañoo nekk bori Banjul rek nekkul luñ bugga la but dafa nekk ne lu ñoo béy tam amuñ ci dara te digga ba àdduna baa ngeen naxal so ñu ne ñu bàyyi ko fa ñoom itam dem Banjul Serekunda uti te loolu tam yomb because suñ ñëwee ñu war a jël néeg te ñoom ñu ngi samp si néegi ci def suñ jëlee néeg ñu war koo fay 7,000 loolu danga ko war a ñi ka am loolu waaw yow ban business nga war a am Gambie pour am xaalis bu bëri boobu nga xam ne pour nga fay 7,000 cabinet a salle du nekk problème so danga gis ne pour ñii parce que ni ñooñu life is very difficult and very tough so man suma advice mooy the government will try and take these steps and because ñun ñu ngi am everything loo xam ne other countries si sax ñoom ñu ngi ko dream ñu ngi ko gënn to have it te ñun yàlla ñu ko jox so let us use it na government bi take the agriculture very seriously ba pare sax ñun fi mu nekk da nga gis ne while we talking we are having a disaster in the Gambia.
Wow, really, right?
Yeah. So which is also maybe not good. Ndox baax na waaye su baree tam baaxul.
Wante amuñ suñ structures bi loolu moo nekk problem bi.
Waaw plants yi waaw njiyee fi they need water waaye su baree tam dañoo dee. Like fi mu nekk di nga gis ne ñi am tool yi gerte su ndox bi ñëwee dem baax na waaye su ndox bi taawee seen kaw kon li ma gis fi mu nekk Serekunda Banjul loolu soo xamu ne ci tool forget it yëpp laa yaa te loolu tam loo si laa nekk ci béykat boo xam ne xëy na mu ngi dugal lim jot a faraatu di expect and hoping to have money after su paree ba jaay ko so loolu ñëw nekk a disaster so nice ne maa ngi advice Gambia government be also not to forget about these people, to help them. Not everybody in the Gambia, because it's just about the farmers. Why am I at this condition? At this time, the whole Gambia, should stand and then try and help all these people. Gambia was poor, ñu ne ñaakoon léegi nag taw bi ñëw nag gën a ñaakal ne gën a yaxa it's a big thing. Man mi gis naa nataal yi gis naa vidéo itam lii is serious xam naa ne ñu bari dina leen week for the next years because ñu bari seen néegi daanu nañ seen bagage yi tooy nañ yaaxu nañ loolu yëpp dañ ko war a jënda te inflation bi dëkk baa ngi seer bi ma ne Gambia rek the whole world mu nekkaa seer loo jëndoon déema dalasi tey 5 la so anyway am na ñu di laajte waaw am na ku bindaan di laaj ndax suñu army bi duñ jóg pour dimbale because loolu nga happen jamono itam su fekkee there is flood da nga gis ne dañ dee mobilize
military
army bi wow that's it so maybe Barrow can also think of that.
I give them support.
Wow, especially at this juncture fi mu nekk ñu bare ngi bëgg a help and then try to help them somehow, whether transporting people or helping them with their goods and to play a part
good idea I hope Barrow good idea I hope Barrow would do that.
Yeah, somebody wrote to me that.
Army be ñu dimbale.
Somebody wrote to me that. Somebody wrote here also. We wax ne lu tax defuñ jëluñ drainage system seriously in the Gambia. Because waaw li happen Nema ndox bi di dem ba si seen liggéey that is too much and other places xam nga loolu soo happen yëpp a yaaw soo gaawut ekkati sa bagage yëpp a tooy suñ tooyee dañoo yaaw so ndax gars yi duñ def a waterway somewhere nga xam ne su tawee dafa dem just like Germany mun naa taw bu ëpp Gambia sax su paree nga xool ci biti doo gis dara why because dañ plan dañ jegee drainage system nga xam ne ndox bi ay paap yu ponkala fa nekk ci ron suuf si su tawee yëpp la aw dem yoon dem ca géej ñun nag loolu amuñ ko ñun su tawee yëpp ay taxaw daf daan dem waaye da ngay gis ne léegi ndox bi daan aw yëpp ñu ngi ko samp kër soo ndox bi amatut yoon soo da ngay gis ne loolu soo fu ne ndox bi fay na tut wéewi dafa yaaxa so loolu tam is not the fault of the people but the fault of the the government now come to push this time. Come some never. If you plan to fail,
If you
or
fail
if
to
you fail
plan,
to plan, yeah. Wow, so plan danga fail. It's very danga fail. Plan
sometimes it's
danga
hard
fail.
to translate everything from English to local
Yeah, you know,
language.
all my Gambian all of this because
Yeah, yeah.
you're the school very early,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. But I do want to speak about that drainage thing as well.
Yeah. Some is
Yeah. So thanks, Alice. Alice, thank you so much. No. Yeah, definitely. So badi ngolo saimbe menkata kan wala mu nyeng member borkan sata kono man tabla soto abenna be dol fandila molla bungol besena na jebeduna bungol kono ni kodal kono be lola je tadlata jiala ndun jebete jino la nyala nyola within telekilim kono safo ya telekilim fula kono bete jina mone wo sabo nita ka root cause nyinyi jube mone mo sabo bot mone ya sabo me ya sabo wala myunti ku flalam nyi manke bi kuti nying bringan na independence to bringo time o jawra jamano kanabula bila na mansakunda nyanta ka make sure ko in physical planning ye dogo okay ka je ko physical planning kana dulal allow lal me yana ko dio nyanta ka bor wala la kata ba ko nin sama kata e kana dula mo allow ye felloje wo jibor silolo nyanta ka tuyele lendro wate wala mu the natural way and the artificial way. Natural way wala mo jibor silo lesero jibor silo lesero ntolo dende malo nen sama kata ka fintin kata fe ala woyo kono bare woyo ka silo ay silo lesero joka bor nyami fata ba kono yaje wo silo do ka wol bola le tra yelde sa nen sama kata don sama be jobe ji kan nyami woyo fana ka bor wo nyama la ka jo fintindi e sa ye molla mol kono jito mo ko da kono sa koloje
nganku woyol kono
nyanko woyol kono nga football ke woyol kono jidor go salta beka jeydo nga wol beka la so yeah bari beto wo silolu sayin dunya jamal bawto nyin salla bawol kono wo silolu sakoni da combo mune mbatande je combo a chokoptale a fata mola mosiata ko dal siata yidulabe kuntu be dulabe wafikan hani jiyo ka borisilo menna ye fa ye bungol loje ye jiyo la borisilo so e bajala ne sama kana o ben force la yo ke atara no mansakunda fana mang drainage system olondi bawo ka drainage system olondi la meano ko jiyo itara dawo da sato kono jiyo jidula la sato ni sama be ke kan jiyo ka bori akata jidula to o be ka fintile ka te dan ko bato yaje wala forol kono sifal mansakunda ma wolulo folo jiyo ka bori men la alay ji bori silol men bondim fana nyen awol fana be fa ngay beta ngay be fa ngay be sari nga bungolo loje sai ni sama nata betun jeta tabla sotra jebe la banam fa la siol la kono na silol kanemu na cordal kono lemu fomo la bungolo kono nyine yo sabo so muna mala solution odi masakunda nyanta kan jibe bawo bungolo lota dami wol lota jela already so at least ye fereke in area council local government ye blodu nyobolo and in fiscal planning kajeko ferole lande mensatina drainage system odun na banko kan ay commencé banjul serakunda bakawnyo o kombola area to ka finde foita santoro bari area council be dawda to nyanta kaw kila doko de ka namo men collect ninga abe ka tela jifo kono yalo nan nga info na diamol kono namo men ka collect don area council ka men don collect isi kuja mala keno kono bari the problem is akata dole la jifo kono abe bo kataje so namu kenu fana nadiamol kono kamen fo wala minti ka kodo bonde mol bulo kono ko take cash out of people's hands ko men ka namu kenu ke kana kodo bole e kana selo di la kodo be dunne bulo kono nyame ko nin kodo men dunta mo bulo kono abebo ka futa so e be silo le londa e sartol londi namu jolalu e bitikatiol lambang marshal kono len dawoda e be silo le londe be kar kodo jola bank nyame fo sango kono ba jola signa klimbang e samu mo be ne ajube san ko la bidi ko nyanta jolla ya a jibe slow di la pourisa be jono one time ita jo bank wala kare wala karsaba etela namo jundi yela reshito samba yadi abanta yela reshito copy ke la bidi ko kono ne mo mana rasa jabije so namo kana finti kana finti kana but anyway so wo kodol membo kata e nyanta tala dami wo yatina manna banko develop no o yati na man drainage system o din no me anan ko jibor sulol jio ka bori duma dami jio ka jinu duma dami pipe ko traje a jiobe borda sulol men na fa jio finte bakono ay tara banko duma la mota jiji la kalo mbedo kan sako ko dum la ko da kono so nyina muna problem wori and the solution is mansa kunda nyanta ka woto jibe in a fiscal planning area council e be able do nyobulu ka drainage system o dun na banko kan men sate na nin samana jio kan alona block.
Okay.
Sam, I just wanted to say something,
Yeah.
but in Wolof to what you just said here.
Yeah, Alas, let's introduce
Famara, hi.
Famara first, yeah. Then you
Hey, Famara.
Hey, Alas, good morning. How are you?
Morning.
Good afternoon.
Welcome. Yes,
Thank you.
How is America?
Good.
Yeah, and Famara join us now from Maryland.
Yeah.
United States. Welcome, Famara. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Alas.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Alas. Yeah, Munga continue.
Yeah, Sam, Ningo Wahe, I'll say that in Wolof now. Ningo Wahe, I just wanted to, namagwana jo example, gis nga Serekunda, between Serekunda and Bakote.
Wow.
You understand? When we are London very small, Fufu dafa nekkoon géej, Fufu la ndox bi daan am. Dañ daan my childhood, dañ daan dem sax ñu ne dañoo nappa, and trying to just play because we couldn't make it. I can remember that, So Fufu ndox la. That's why this bridge is there. You understand what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah. So many people don't even know it, but we used to go there and play football after we go out there and try to, and so. So right now, when you go there, Sam, what do you see? Kir. So that's exactly what Sam was saying. There is you see only compounds. So it's definite. Then we'll find it somewhere, or we'll stay somewhere. So there is these flash floods happening, and then there is no way. Mota dog say Nema, all these areas, they are unfortunate, but here is no banging you basically.
Wow.
It's too much. Yeah. And it's still raining, they're telling me. That means it can take time till dinner time.
Okay. Yeah, jerejef Alas. So Famara, you can come and then
you can come.
Yeah, so
you can speak in fuller. Famara, you speak fuller, yeah.
Wow, okay, Njara.
Famara flow manjafare.
Sa heavy Islam pull be hala pull de. Debo mako ni pular. Anyway, just can't come for Allah diamol kang because mol nyobe ko yare mbake Gambia because mol wulita ko datil dol bije iman la dulasro ila bongol boyta la nga video jele kuno suto mol fanikete nyala le be joko jela ila bongol kono the whole night. So people don't have the time to sleep last night, because Gioka sembo water back. And the new fenete mi alon ko be continue like okay because alahawa be falling kanne, so amanke Gambia damate dunia karo belum. And even the United States here, nimi television kunung Kentucky, there was a big flooding there yesterday. And then it happened in Germany not long ago. It happened in Angleterre not long ago. Southeast Asia is always happening there. All right. But what we have to do until nyanta min kala sai wolam nyintiko sami afala diamo kono kan namol min collect nyanta prioritize lale wonamol kodol nyanta use la nyamen ka banko develop. You understand?
Yeah.
Anu na banko kan na masakundala ka proud lembe sila doku la janne be sila doku la jang but ne silo doku iman drainage kendo kala akana problem o drone create now. So right now nyin sila doku be ke kan Gambia new flooding in Bekeka right now, it contributed a lot because a lot of things are going on. And then, Sila Jamal BJ blocked, dual mantra taka and Yantala Nyame. So Yinbim issue to Mini Alonko, it's very important. Namansakunda Jibe critically how to come up with a lasting solution to this problem. Because every year, we are going to face the same problem every year. Now, Hakilo back again in 2017, there was a big flood in Mihapunta in Kuntawur, that was a very devastating flooding. And it happened in Old Josuang, in Banjul. That flooding was also a massive one, even in people in Combo. My hometown, Bruford, houses were collapsed. Even today, yesterday, I was watching this morning, one of the houses in Bruford has collapsed with the families inside. So where are those families going to go? And then who's going to take care of them? Is there any support system near Alonco is available to these farmers, or not to these farmers only, but even the citizens? So we have to look at, so this is a national disaster. Me alone by especially in the next couple of hours or so, or within the next 12 hours, definitely the government should be able to come out and give us a press release or a conference to tell us the extent of the damage in collaboration with the National Disaster Management Agency, so that we know the damage of this. And if the government need to declare this as a disaster, then they need to do that. This means if the government did not have a capacity, they can call on international organizations, donors, philanthropists, the volunteers, to come out and help, and mobilize our resources together. Because we have the national army, we have the police, and we have the recruits. These are the times that we need them, to evacuate families that are in a very dangerous areas. Try and remove them out. Because some of them have desperate, they don't know where to go. Their houses are collapsed. They are just trying to pick up some few clothes and belongings here and there. Emotionally, they are attached. They are just sitting and watching their houses being collapsed. They cannot do anything. So they need people coming out to give them that emotional support. Reassure them, maybe transport them, the younger generation, the young kids, for example, the women, safer areas. If it is going to be Kanifing municipal area, the regional coordinator for disaster in KM and the Kanifing Municipal Council, they have to work together and see how they can support these families as quickly as possible, and then move them out from those prone areas. Many alonko, people can drown, people can, houses can collapse on them, increase more injuries on whatever. So we need to look at this very, very seriously. And then the government need to come with a long-term plan. The long-term plan is we don't just help disaster victims by giving them, a bag of rice and a gallon of oil or one packet of corrugate. But what else? We need to put our policies right. We need to come up with strategies that will help us. Our physical planning and the lands need to make sure that there is a building code, in the Gambia. Anybody that is building a house, they have to look at that area whether it is safe or not, because otherwise the government is going to chip on bailing out the same flood victims every year. Because if they respond this time, and you know that you are in Tobacco Road, and where you build your house in Tobacco Road is definitely a flood-prone area. Today your house is collapsed, and then tomorrow families come together, government come together, they build a house for you, and you still remain in the same place. The following year again, the same flood will come back again, the same problem will come. If people are going to remain in those places, what we need to do is we need to increase our adaptive capacity. Our adaptive capacity needs to be increased. We come up with adaptation strategies. This time around, if you're building a house, raise your building high up, raise your foundation up, have a higher ground where your building can start on, okay? That way, if the groundwater level is going high, you can be assured that your foundation is not going to be compromised, because already your house is built on a platform or a structure that is already raised up. So we need to think about these adaptation measures, and then government need to make a strict measures in place for areas that are yet to be settled. If anybody is buying a land, we need to make sure that this area is free from flood. In the US, we don't have that capacity in the Gambia, but here in the US, we have flood insurance. All right, flood insurance is available for house owners, and then the government also encourages you, for people who go with adaptation measures to reduce flooding. Government give you a little bit support, in terms of stopping the flood victims happening. So these are some of the things. I know we don't have the capacity, but we can put on a strategy and then come up with something that will mimbe sate mul makoila I na dobal makoi, because bankubungo mini be larem bankubungo no bi wolle be wolle victimolti. You know, number secunda ni la minister will be la bankubungo e be la cement bungo kono bi e be la bunjang kono bi. Right now those people are not worried about all the flood is going on right now. It is the poor people.
They are just
it's the poor people, and those people are the people we are serving right now. So how can we forget about the people we are serving? So Sauna, this is what is very important, and I think we need to look at it, the government need to look at this issue very seriously, because the Kuntawur flooding was a very, very eye-opener. And then we know that our capital city, Banjul, some areas, especially in Bone Road, is less than half a meter below sea level. Any increase in level of water, Banjul will be flooded. Tobacco Road is a good example.
Yeah,
you know?
And there is no sea barrier, Mansuroje, and so forth. And even the geographers,
there's nothing there.
Yeah, you know? Even the geographers, when I was in school, in high school, they used to predict that Gambia, Banjul could be flooded any minute. It's far below sea level. But
exactly.
So what are your take from agricultural side regarding to this the farmer soul? Because no one can discuss that.
Farmer soul
on that, so that you can
farmer soul, they need support, because Gambia agriculture be depend ka wala bake ka banko sambanyata. So ntanga mera masakundala concentration na budgetol anyanda tala wo fanala bake. And no farmer soul kela complain on mwele every year. It's the same problem over and over. Fertilizer da la fata lombang, jambando la fata lombang, masakunda man son kan tiol sang wala agriculture mako nyina imam mako nyinto. And nunkajela dobije, government of Japan, it's na ye mane boto Jamal D. Wo mane boto ika wafula bang ni wafuta kodo nyinkata munjole. We need to put those money in place. Ita inyante tala dami. Isaje ko farmer soul can benefit. Because right now, farmer soul masakunda me dema, it's going to be difficult for us to feed ourselves. Being a dunia kolealon, Ukraine Russia la problem, because the greater part of our wheat supplies are coming from that area. Be it down America lombang down la baby koleare. So we are attending to Gambia, nintel fana serious to agriculture nga prioritize. Definitely in some form balloon do knowledge. Because nga moi politician or lale, nga moi scientist or agricultural scientist or lalko. Gambia has the capacity to feed ourselves. But why are we still not feeding ourselves? Despite the millions of dollars that are coming in as grants and loans to the agriculture ministry, why are we still struggling? Because if you have a $3 million grant from from World Bank for an agricultural project, and probably half of that money goes into buying vehicles, consultancies, reports, and then workshop, and you only left with half of it. Where is that other half? It's not enough to even cater for the family. Exactly. So we need to reduce those kind of things, buying vehicles and machineries for project management unit, when the money is meant for the farmers to improve their condition, and still yet nothing is being improved. So those are things that we also look at.
So in other words, government will prioritize. It will could spend daminto, and in to spend la daminto among kilinti. Yes, farmer soul la area may along consi equipment with farming tools, pulila productivity is increase no nyami. It will buka ki order motoba sawalem, and in traveling bal and in padim and so forth. Wala na farming area. But say mulben kabo in the provinces ikata in combos ikafaje ikatala tamal laje ibukatala fennaje me alonko is even productive. Wala cool benyadile. How is that killing our farming? Because mul bekara nyori combo and the combo congesta come Alaska for nyami mul buki ni I mean that's even causing more damage to our environment. When the environment about pollute can not only that damage to our environment. Gambia, from Carton to Koina, near GB, there is a lot of land space, a lot of areas near to Labadibuto. People build houses there, only household built there, but nobody's there. Only old people and children. Even why? How can people move back? Urban rural migration, so that more system what incentive can be done in farming? This is a productive area, because in US here, farming you know, kantola New York jan chicken o men ka domo jang anin dongol men ka domo jang nim farmer soul man ka koditioti. I mean nim farmer soul man tara keri. Everybody will be starving. People will be eating one another. So farming is a key to the sustainability of a country. Bantola mol ngamera ntol nimole kungutilenteng ntol kan kungutilenteng. What is, the area that we are going to focus la davido ntol kan kodi wala. Imman fango kono fandi no more comfortable. Food prices come down. How until we survive no lanyari? Because we are importing food, chicken. Can you believe? Left and right, left, chicken. We are importing those things, everything, rice. Don't be kulukan water man nobody. Kula buntung na buntung na grandmother buntung just fire kunu. I'm telling you, the whole season until none back of rice. Baramano, where bakaya baramano lone. Akatara brown rice, baramano.
Yeah.
Natural. Yake dempeta wote. Ale dempeta olone.
Yeah.
New yele yoma. Near the band umuda. Or itara farodo.
You miss it. I know you miss it.
No, we have to go back. We have to create technology and go back to the system that make us come this far. We are, but until the government fund, they don't even engage citizens and give them incentive.
Right.
Listen, employment is a problem. Let's do this, and it will also create employment for the youth. But everybody have to be, carrying bags in combo. If you combo like you want to buy something, you see 3 people, 4 people as a mediator taking you to a shopkeeper, trying to make a little bit money there. How is somebody gonna live like that? You go to the airport. The first thing you come from Europe, you go to the airport. Everybody trying to hold you back so you can give them $5. So nothing na way to change that. And government has to go. Kafako government basically blue light in the state house. This air conditioner they are paying salaries. That's not the way to move the country. We have to be on the ground. Show the right way to our people and be like an example. To move Gambia forward is a lot of things that are, that are apart that we need to bring together. We need a center to hold, and the government is not doing that. The leadership don't have the know-how to hold the center because they are busy politicking, they are busy enjoying, but they are not busy working. This is why, we have no center to hold, because it's a lot of things is more encouraging. A lot of youth, 60% youth of the population, what are they doing? These youths can be, you can have irrigation farms, you can have a lot of machines that you can, people just need money. These youths get money, they can buy clothes, they can do they're gonna sustain their living. But what are we doing? Everything is there, but nobody. They're in combos. So this is why our farming, there's no. The time I was there, I bay, like I mean, I paid the whole day. I'm telling you, but say you couldn't alter go and do bay. Get out of here. Get out of here. They munkunkudoku. The time so I want to be enough to know so long. So this is the problem. The mindset has changed. So the leadership has something to do with it.
Absolutely.
Everybody want to travel, which is which I have no problem with people traveling, but we need a way solution. And alignment for that thing, that is a way to go. Government has to get involved. So this is an area that I'm really passionate about. I think all of us should take an responsibility. We go and start doing farming, and then that start within ourselves. Everybody should get a way to get involved in farming to contribute.
I'm not a farmer.
Yeah. No, you don't have to be a farmer. All you have to do
but I have
invest
other
money.
professions.
No, the idea is
other
great.
professions.
Invest money and
you know, the problem,
for you, and
the
then
problem
ourselves.
the problem is not about money. You know, we have problems, as some used to say. You know, even if you put some millions of dollars there, or you buy 110 tractors, and you don't have a plan how to execute that, or you don't teach the people
now
how to use it,
and motivate them, incentive.
you don't, you know, but how I just see it, even Jamet tried it too. You cannot just buy these machines and throw it to the farmers like that. I think Jamet realized that it's not functioning. Then later he tried to take them all of his own. You know, that's the reason. Because his plan was to give it to the farmers. But he also failed to think of what I'm telling you now. You know, if I want to buy a machine for farmer, for example, to use that, but then I have to talk with farmer first, even before I buy this machine. Talk with farmer and look what kind of problem farmer is having and what kind of machine exactly will help him to go forward, and then try to invest in that. And when it comes, you have to train farmer how to use it and help him to go his way. And this procedure, we always fail to do it. And if you fail to do it, as some used to say, then you plan to fail.
Yeah.
You can buy 1,000 tractors.
No, Alice,
they will not help in
yeah,
agriculture because you don't go to according to the process.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean? So it's not about money.
Yeah.
You know?
So Alice,
and the thing that people run away from we talk about it, that the farmers run away, come to the urban area, it's normal. Because when they do their farming, they don't see any loan for it. You know, they don't have any money for it. So there's no incentives, no motivation. So then they'll try to change also their mind to come over.
So it works.
And they'll leave that there. And when everybody comes, then we all start to import because there is nobody behind to even produce onions for us. You understand? And that's why we import also a lot, which is also not good for us because that is going to turn back as inflation, what we are having in the country.
Yeah.
That will turn back to the people, to the farmers. The time you were buying bread for $1, you will buy it for 10. Why? Because you are importing onion, you are importing rice, you are importing all the things what you were having in your farm. Now paying that in foreign currency. But the impact is coming back. The dollar is going to be weak. Everything getting costly. So now we talk about inflation. You understand? So in that case, the government should do something. You are right. Amara is also right. Only he can do that. Have proper people who are going to give proper plannings, who are going to meet the farmers. That can be from Minister of Agriculture, a group of people who are going to, be a mediator so that the Minister of Agriculture will know the problems of the farmers. The farmers will also be able to tell what's going on and why they need help. You understand? When that is not there, they are just wasting money. I used to say that.
Yeah.
When they buy 1,000 tractors, it seems as if they're doing something for the agriculture. No, there is a way. Maybe there is somebody who doesn't even need a tractor.
Okay. Yeah.
Another machine for his own purpose. You have to know all these things.
Yeah. Yeah. So Alice, you're right. I think someone want to say something, but I just want to mention that you are Jamme. You're right. Jamme was trying it, definitely. But sometimes people are not focused on that because they are not educated. They don't long, and they don't have the incentive. See, this will need a lot of approach, not only equipment or kasang. So you have to educate, you have to show a sampling, and people started to work on it. You have to work on the people. Porque il a mind shift. from city coming to combos and struggling there, everybody struggling, doing the same thing. To this realization that they can be rich as a farmer. It's a rich knowledge as a farmer, and that we, in that process, this country will self-sustain. We're gonna be eating what we grow. Jamme tried it, but Jamme just amakanole purka instinct within the people. That is the problem for people to
there's
make
it. There's a process. There's a process.
Yeah. So you are right, but Sam can comment if you and then
Pamela can comment. I will say this as my final for this topic here. When it comes to agriculture and our own cost of living in Gambia, just like I once proposed, and I've said this multiple times in WhatsApp audios as well. And I had a Facebook live video about the Jahal Pachar project. And this is, to me, that is the solution for Gambia, because the way things are in Gambia, unless we invest in agriculture and farming in general, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be challenging. We're going to depend on foreign aids and foreign investors really investing in our country. We're going to continue to get everything, our commodities, our basic commodities will be imported into our country for us to be able to consume them, when we can do a simple thing as the Jahal Pachar project, that just like how I proposed it, the Gambia can really use the Jahal Pachar. And like I said in my audios and in my videos, we have to close Mile 2 prison and open a Mile 2 in Jahal Pachar. We open a new prison system there and get into, first, everything's planning, really. Planning is very important. That's why I said if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So in the planning stage, this is where the government need to talk to the top producers of rice in the world. Who are the top producers of rice in the world? I can pick some of them. China is one of them. India is another one. Indonesia is another one of them. Japan is another one of them. Burma is another one. Even Brazil is in the top 10. So talk to any of these countries and see what they do and how they do it. Get a plan. Get a plan in place where you will send Gambians over there to learn the process so that they can come in and be the people that are going to run the project in our country. In the meantime, while they are learning, we have these people, have contracts with them and bring them into Gambia, build a new prison system at Jahal Pachar, by Jahal Pachar area, with a lot of housing also for people, which are non-prisoners, and create this great investment into rice so that we can plant and grow rice in the Gambia. And so that same rice is what we're going to sell in our country. This is going to help bring the bag of rice down to around $800. That's what I said, around $800. And also, it's going to help our businessmen. We're going to say, you know what? We're going to sell rice for the Gambia Department of Agriculture is going to go back to Jawara's regime and open those NTCs, National Trading Cooperation, between the Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Trade, and Finance. All of them need to be involved to be able to get these, so that we have good warehouses where we plant rice and bring them to those warehouses and be transported to these NTCs. So every town and village you go in, there is an NTC in every town where people can buy rice for around $800. Now, the incentive you give to workers, now prisoners are going to work for free. Of course, they will have some incentive, but they're going to create that free labor for our country because they were sentenced to prison, life in prison, or 10 years in prison with hard labor. Their hard labor will be spent producing rice for our country. So we are not paying anything for that. Now, what we're going to pay for is our boys and girls, the youths that are sitting and not working, and these backway boys, give them incentive to go to work at Jahal Pachar. There's housing there. They can stay there. They can work and produce rice for our country. When they produce rice, because you're an employee of Jahal Pachar, you get a bag of rice for $500, right? That's an incentive. All commercial businessmen that wants to buy, the ones that really import rice into the country to sell it to us, they can also get a bag of rice for $500 there and sell it, turn around and sell it for $800. So NTC sells for $800. The other places can sell it for about 800. You put a cap there. They can't do anything more than that, or maybe 900. Allow them to make a little bit of money, not too much money. But this is going to automatically bring the cost of rice down to, like I said, around. When I say around 800, it could be 700, it could be 8 or 850, maybe 900, but somewhere around there. So that, number one, rice is the basic commodity that everybody, almost 90% of Gambians eat every day. So if we can make that one affordable, and we have people working that we are paying, and everybody that works there get an incentive, getting a rice to their own home for less than what the NTCs will sell them for, boy, you're going to have a lot of people running there to go find jobs. You know, that is also going to move people out of Combo and decentralize them and put them in that area to cultivate rice, you know, and produce that rice that the government is going to sell. I mean, boy, it's a win-win situation if we know how to do it. That's all part of the planning. That's why I said, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And our government need to look at that and utilize, take advantage of the Jaha Pucha project, extend the project to other parts of the country with a drainage system. So not everybody has to go to Jaha Pucha. You may be in the Combos planting rice there because the drainage system comes all the way out. So a lot of people, a lot of youths will have a job, you know, and will have a job, and they will be able to afford to buy a bag of rice, even two, and take it home, give one to your mom at home, take one, give it to your uncle, give your grandma a bag of rice, because you can afford it and you're well paid to do all this, while prisoners work for free. And when they work for free, that is part of their sentencing. You see, so and close down Mile 2, get them out of there. That's a bad place. That even dogs should not be in Mile 2, let alone human beings. You know, take them to a good place, good facility, allow them to study while they're there, get a degree. I mean, there's a lot of things that can happen. It's all part of planning. I can't say all of it, but there's a lot of things that we can do. So at the end of the day, planning is important. Our Department of Agriculture, Ministry of Trade, and Finance all need to join hands and have a plan for our country. And this is the plan they really need to present to the president so that he can adopt this and sign off on this. And let's go after India to come help us start this plan. And with a long-term plan that our own Gambians will take it over and run it.
I know it's going to be expensive, but it's doable, and it will really be successful if we are serious about it.
I mean, think about how much you would buy rice now.
And even if you want, it's not going to be expensive.
Yeah. In the
if
wrong
you do
run,
it the right way, it's not going to be expensive.
It's not going to be expensive.
You can also see it as investigation. You can invest, but you know that it will come again. So
if you think about it, the free labor from the prisoners, you're not paying the prisoners to plant rice because that's part of their sentencing. They're sentenced to prison for life, or some for 10 years with hard labor. They put that hard labor producing rice, give us free labor. That rice alone is going to NTC, and the Gambia government is selling that rice for about $800, something they didn't pay anything to get it. They should be able to pay off any loans on that. Just that simple. You know, it's all planning.
There are many ways.
When I was in Hermitage High School, the prisoners were used to do farming. To do rice cultivation with the irrigation. You know, Georgetown has because we have fresh water, so they run some irrigation lines. And if you look at the card of this town, there were a lot of irrigations that
I know those days in Hermitage around that. Is it still?
The prisoners,
I don't know.
The time I left 1989. So I don't know if it's still there, but they used to farm a lot. The prisoners.
I once came there. I knew that. The time we were playing with against Hermitage High School, and we did them there.
I remember that.
And then they make a very nice party for us.
Exactly. Those are musical night times.
But Famara said here, I want to come back to Famara. He said here a very interesting thing, which is not to be neglected.
So come back to that, then we can give him Famara, then I think we can start to wrap.
I just wanted to add something to it, because he mentioned here also the climate change, what many people used to ignore, and climate change is reality. We are seeing it ourselves, and that is not only for Gambia. That's why we need to be prepared. Gambia government should be prepared for certain catastrophes because it's happening in a lot of countries, not only Gambia. And Gambia, as Famara said, it happened before, second time, that's maybe the third time. So that is showing you that the global change is there, and we must try to see how to live with it. You know, I mean, even here in Germany, we never needed in summer air conditioners. You know, even a fan, you don't need it. But now we're seeing that it's getting too hot like Gambia, that sometimes you need air conditioning. You understand? So that is showing you the changes going on in our globe, and getting warmer because we are having always some temperature higher. You'll see that there will be these fast floods. There will be these fast floods, you know, and then there will be a lot of water, ice melting, you know, and we need to be prepared also in the Gambia, you know. I mean, I don't wish it for the Gambia, but we need to be prepared that such conditions can always happen, that you have a rain about 1 week or so. Where is the water going? We are not used to, you know. So it was very interesting to say that, Famara. We should not neglect that.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Alas. Famara, your last point, I mean, so we can wrap it up. We can hear you. You are mute. You are mute.
Thank you so much. Our thoughts and prayers are going out to the victims of this flooding. Definitely, we don't know the numbers. We are waiting on the government, the National Disaster Management Agency, to tell us the extent of the damage across the country, because this is not only in Combo. We don't know what's coming from the rural areas, but so far what we see in Banjul, West Coast region, and the Kanifing, and is very alarming. And then we are waiting for the results and what government step is government going to take, you know, to bail out those victims. And then, of course, let us not stop there. We have to, like Sam said, if we fail to plan, we plan to fail. Yeah, so I think from now on, we need to think about next year rainy season. How do we avoid what just happened today or yesterday? Because this is the time to make that plan, okay? So this is the time we need to mobilize resources. If the government needs to go and make supplementary budget, if the government needs to call for an international organization to help, definitely this is the time to do so. If we can spend $50 million to come up with an international conference center for the OIC, a conference that is only for a 1 week conference, and the government is ready to spend $50 million US just to have that conference hall in place. If we are prepared to spend that millions of dollars to have the OIC roads in place, and if we are prepared to spend another $100 million to have the hotel, a 5-star hotel for the OIC conference, then I think the government can also make plans to get $200 million from somewhere and make sure we do a feasibility study in the whole of KMC and Banjul, coming with a comprehensive plan that is going to help in the long term, say in the next 15 to 20 years, even though this government might not be there, but at least it's a starting point for the next government that is going to come to say that we have a plan in place to bring a comprehensive city plan for KMC and Banjul and the West Coast region. We need to have a policy in place, and this is the time, Minister of Local Government and Land, come up with a land policy. We need to have a zoning map. You know, we need to have categorized our zone where development are going to take place and where no development should take place, because we need to allow the water to flow inside the city and go where it's supposed to go. You see, water, there is nobody who can stop water from where it wants to go. No. If you block a road for the water, it will find a road somewhere else.
Find its way.
Yeah, so
and water is powerful.
Blocking the waterways is not a solution. Blocking the waterways is not a solution. You deal with how the water comes. And that's why a country like the Netherlands was able to survive, because Netherlands was able to reclaim part of some wetlands, you know, build in between those wetlands allow the water to flow, but still you have infrastructures being built around there, people living with nature in harmony. You cannot fight nature. So if you fight nature, you are only bothering yourself, you are wasting the resources, but you just got to plan. So this is time we come up with an adaptation plan. Adaptation plan is very necessary because climate change is happening. It is happening very fast, very frequent, and we are going to deal with climate change until the next generation, which we don't know when. So we plan according to what we are seeing, what we are having, instead of fighting nature. And then let's protect our environment. Environmental protection is very key. The trees that we cut to build our houses, the timbers that we export to China, this is time now we are facing the consequences because we think those timbers would give us a lot of money when we sold them to the Chinese, but now we are spending that money again to repair what the damage it has caused. So it doesn't make any sense at all. You know, so this is the time, Sawane, we look at the environment, we think about ourselves, and know that if we destroy the environment, we are destroying ourselves. And that's the thing. And then the farmers, we wish them a very good crop season. And I hope President Barrow will cut off this year the Meet the Farmer store. I wish President Barrow will not go this year. The budget that they created for that Meet the Farmer store, let him put that money directly into agriculture. I don't know whether he has the power to do that, to single-handedly authorize that money or that budget and give it to the farmers. If not, let him go to the National Assembly or call a cabinet and make sure and say, hey, this year, I'm not going to meet the farmer store. So whatever budget is there for this year, I want to spend it directly to the farmers. So let that money goes to the farmers instead of, you know, a lot of our ministers and the government cars,
and then also bring down
meet the farmer store, and then they put in burden on the farmers when they go there because they cannot even go to the farm anymore. They have to wait because they say the visitors are coming and they will suspend their work at the farm. They will not have any money and then they will not go to farm. So, and the president wastes their time. So I'll challenge Barrow this year. The report of last year, Meet the Farmer store, is not going to be different from this year. Let him look at the recommendation from last year's report, implement that this year with the money he has, instead of relying on donors.
And cut on costs, right? Cut on waste.
Yeah,
that is the way to go. And then the fertilizers also, we don't mention that, but there has been news on fertilizers been so high. I mean, the price has been so high that the government need to reduce it. They reduce only $500, which is nothing, which is a token change. So the fertilizers need to be as affordable as possible so that these farmers can grow their crops the way they need to, and then they can have a good harvest. There's no point if you're gonna have farmers and you don't provide them affordable fertilizers. They cannot buy the fertilizers they need to. Because I was a farmer before, so I know.
That's where
if you want your crops to really, come out good, you let you more, you better, you water, you ding, you have to put additional fertilizers because our grounds are not naturally fertilized like that. So that is
Sawane, here we come. Most of this fertilizer, people used to buy it from Russia and Ukraine there. Since this war, there are a lot of African countries who started to make their own. Why not Gambia?
Yes.
Why not Gambia?
Yes.
Why should we always import something and pay something for it?
I agree with you 100%.
That's where everything started. We think that we have to hold everything from the pot.
We have to think outside the box.
That is catastrophic.
I'm pretty sure we have knowledgeable people who can figure out how to make fertilizers from some of the things that we have.
It's not difficult. It's not difficult. You need all this nonsense
if we don't use
from
this
the cows
brain,
and all.
It's gonna go into waste.
And there's something they used to buy and mix it with it.
So Sam, your final thought, Sam. And we wrap it up.
Just to end here, the end note will be, really we need to do a lot for our country. We are way behind time. Gambia is 57 years old, and it's 57 years behind time.
It's older than me.
We really need to do a lot, and we have no time to waste.
Gambia is older than me.
I know. I know.
So our country, really, our leaders, anybody that gets into that leadership role from a president coming down, they really need to understand that we are way behind time. So there's no time to waste. There's really no time to allow any wasteful spending, because we need every single budget that we have to be able to develop our country. So close all the loopholes, stop the corruption, get the funds, and develop our country. That's what we need to do. There's a lot that is needed. And unfortunately, our poor people are suffering. They're not getting what they need. And it's a very slow progress. And we should have been, such a small country, should have been at a different level by now. So thank you.
If we have the right leadership and the
Thank
right
you, sir.
mindset,
Absolutely.
attitude from our people, those two things works together.
Yeah, attitude is
Yeah.
also okay. And then,
Final words, Sir Aras, then we wrap up.
yeah, and then not only attitude, we need to also have what I used to say, maybe one would say social laws. You know, it's not a law that when you don't do it, maybe the police will come. But it's a law that the society agrees to read, that this should not be done this way. It should be done that way. You understand? That will help us within the society and form our attitude also. And through that, we'll have less stress and less discussion and less quarreling, because we adopt to the system to say
Social,
that,
you mean social understanding?
yeah, if you say
Right.
understanding is okay, but I used to say law, but a law, but nobody will, it's not constitutional.
Yeah, common
It
law.
will be
Okay.
social, you know? Like if I am coming towards you, I have to go to the right side, for example. You have to go to the left, always. Because when you go to your right and I go to my right, then we can pass without problem. This is something, it's not a law written in book or anything, but you can quote it as social law. So everybody understands, and that's how life goes on. So everything will be very simple and easy, you know? But as we don't have that, sometimes I meet with you, I want to go to right, you want to go to right, you want to go to left. It happens often in Gambia. Am I right?
Yep.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah.
That's it, because we don't have this.
We don't have
our society.
a memorandum of communication, something that can
That's
make us
it.
understand.
You know, then it will happen that we both will stand there and laughing each other, because it's a funny movement at that time. I want to go left, this time you want to go right, and the street is very big. You understand what I mean? So these are laws. I used to say social laws. It's not a law. When you don't do it, somebody will shoot you or take you to court or anything. But it's just going to make our life easy.
I call it. I think it is something called common practice. Like
yeah, you know how you call it, you know. But this understanding also, you know what you mean. If not, yeah, for Gambia, I'm very sorry. For example, what happened today, I even called my families and try to ask them how is it with them, because these videos are going around. One is always worried when you are having families at home. And that time they were telling me, and it's still raining. So that means they are expecting even more water. You know, I hope that it will go down, and then God save all of them. And especially the poor people who have nothing, and then the little they have, you know, these are all God's things. You cannot do much about it. But when we are prepared, as I said, and Famara also, that can save us and help us in the future when we know that, okay, when the rainy season comes, this and that can happen. Or when it's raining, then we try to keep our things very high up and know that maybe the water can come inside. These are all distractions, you know, and I hope that Barrow can help the people. I don't know whether the government can compensate many of these people with their damages, and so it's catastrophic. May God help all Gambians and all people who are suffering at this moment. We are also suffering with them. Thank you very much.
Thank you all for coming. This is a great discussion today. Our condolence again goes to the families and those who have suffered through this ordeal. So sad. Hope they recover and the government help to their rescue. And also we find ways, like Alice and Favara and Sam said, we have ways forward to make sure that we can prevent this in the future. We want rain, of course. You know, we were complaining about it years ago. Now we are getting it, but we don't know how, you know, to be able to contain it. And it's affecting our cities, it's affecting our lives. So this is a sad news. I hope, you know, we started thinking, you know, in that direction of drainage system, changing our laws, our policies, and started to work around this. We thank you all for watching, and those of us who contribute to the our feedbacks, you know, we thank you all. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Alas.
Thank you all.
America.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Famara. Yeah. See you guys. Take care.